Can y'all hear me? All right. Oh, wow. That sucks. I'm sorry, guys. I was just telling this whole story. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm sorry. Now y'all can hear me now. Y'all should be able to hear me now. At the very least. But I'm waiting for that confirmation. Anyway. I was just saying that I was coming back. Okay, so I was just saying, like, I was coming back in Houston from being in Austin this entire time. For anyone who knows Houston, 290 is probably one of the worst highways ever, and it's whittled down to 3 lanes with absolutely no shoulder whatsoever. But from now, like all day today and part of Monday, they have it completely shut down in all but 1 lane, so it's impossible to move. I was just crawling in blistering, like not blistering, but it's 85 degrees out, and my car has been old and kind of crappy, so like I have absolutely no AC in that car, and so oh my gosh, it was so terrible. Like I am dehydrated. I am sweating. I've done nothing but drive in that heat all day. So I hope everyone is having a better day than I am, and we can still experience and talk about Dragon Ball Super together. So, guys, how the heck are you? Always good to be here on live streams, Q&As, anything that y'all want to talk about. Let's get right into this. I'm going to go into the comment section, into this little hyper chat, and we can talk about it. Okay. Do you rather stay a virgin until 40 or have kids at 12? Hypothetically, of course. Gonna go with the former because I still like my life, and the older I get, even though it is incredibly important, it's not as important as it was when I was a kid. So, I mean, what's important is a good relationship. So, take that as you will. I mean, people might think one way or the other, but I hope everyone would lean towards one way. Like, don't. Having kids is a huge responsibility, and it will kind of tear your life apart. Anyway, not in a bad way, but if you're not ready for them, then yeah, it can be a bad way. But let's move on. That is completely not Dragon Ball related. Okay, Gohan versus Kefla would have been cool. Gohan would be outmatched, but it would be interesting to see him have a limit-breaking sort of battle like that. It would have been pretty cool to see Gohan have a limit-breaking situation no matter who he fought, and there were so many people, believe me, not only with the last Q&A, I got a couple of really awesome examples from you guys, or ideas. I've been thinking about them. I have them all on the list. I'm going to start doing those videos. It's going to be a legitimate series. I don't even need to make a playlist, but Gohan is one of the main people, I think, throughout this entire show that I would have liked to see fight like a lot of people. So he will probably come up a lot in that thing. Isn't Easter in like 2 weeks though? Happy Easter. Well, happy Easter if we don't get a chance to see it. Houston highways are the worst. I'm in Austin, Texas. The highways is way better here. Austin traffic is worse than Houston traffic. The problem with Austin traffic is that everyone in Austin is way too nice and everyone in Houston is way too aggressive. So ever since I started living in Houston almost primarily, Houston I like driving in more. And when I go to Austin, it frustrates the hell out of me because it's like no one is aggressive there. Everyone's a defensive driver, and that's why traffic is so bad. Just my opinion. I'm gonna miss DBS. I'm gonna miss DBS too, Easy Legend, man. It's gonna be a real heartbreaking situation next week. I think it's next week when that ends. So I'll be here. Danny will be here. MJ and everyone else will be here just to share our thoughts and opinions. I'm sure we're gonna have a couple of nice looking back moments and discussions about Dragon Ball Super and how we're all reacting to the ending of the series. At least that's as much as I can think. I believe that's going to be a thing. Question 1. Why is Jiren nerfed? Don't know. Truth be told, and I know this is a bad thing, but I haven't watched the newest episode, so I'm not going to be commenting on it. I know a lot of people might hate that because it's been out for like a day. I know, but I can't. I have not been anywhere near a reasonable computer. If you guys have been seeing my videos recently, like anything I put out this week, basically, it's either re-uploads, which I'm sorry about that. I don't intend to do as much re-uploads as I do sometimes, but I do want to put out content. I don't know how many people have seen what on which channel or yada, 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 but I do enjoy putting out content, having conversations when I can. And I had to go out and buy a really cheap mic in order to even put out some new content. So you guys saw my Gohan rant the other day. I had a lot of fun making that just because I think I recorded that twice. Like I got that, it was like 25 minutes and it was like way all over the place and I was just really mad. And then I kind of came back. I was like, okay, I'm going to like calm down. I'm actually going to like talk and try to make my reasons a little bit better. And then I recorded again. It was about half the time, so that was totally fine. Would be awesome if you could follow me on Twitter at randomloomer. To anyone who wants me to follow them on Twitter, I've gotten these every time. I'm getting more and more of these. I'm not against following anybody on Twitter. I'm absolutely not. The problem is, and you can ask some of the people I do follow on Twitter, especially people who don't make content. The only way that they got my attention was actually following me on Twitter and getting my attention, you know, contacting me, asking me questions, you know, seeming interested. I'm not just going to go and follow everyone. That's not my prerogative ever, unless the person I'm following is someone I actually want to start having a conversation with. So I'm really sorry about that. I'm not going to just go follow, but if you guys go to me on Twitter, at real2realpro, on Twitter, if you want to do that, totally fine. I'm always up for discussing things. I am usually pretty good on Twitter getting back to you guys. It's a really quick conversation flow and everything like that. If you want a better chance at getting a hold of me, that's the way. Oh, excuse me. What if Jiren had Ultra Instinct 2? Different result? Oh, yes. Jiren is too OP to have that, obviously. Just, the whole Goku getting Ultra Instinct thing in this tournament, to me, is just, it's still one of those, like, it's too much, you know? Like, yes, cool fight, everything that's happening right now, OP. The entire Tournament of Power, I think, has been over and above what it really could have been. Awesome fights, awesome things for Goku and Vegeta and some of the other smaller players. Like, who expected 17 to be as cool as he was? But yeah, at least as far as I am concerned, it's at least as far as I'm concerned, it is a little bit more ridiculous than I think it should be, him mastering the dang thing. Like, I know it's ending, and the very fact that Dragon Ball Super is ending, I guess we could stomach this. But if they decided to keep it going, then that whole mastery of Ultra Instinct and everything that's gone on in the last couple episodes would be a little bit broken. Like, I have no idea where they would go next, and maybe that's why they're ending it. Who knows? There's a lot of different reasons as to why anyone might think that they're ending it. Let's see. Oh man, I am just like so behind. I hear him say, "Huh." I'm gonna. Let's see. Supreme Kaioshin. Okay. Whatever. I'm not gonna say. Go check out my channel. Bad choice, man. Go check out my channel. Connor, you're gonna tell me that that was a bad choice? I think he's referring to. By the way, people, I'll put it in the description section below. Actually, just give me a minute. I'm gonna keep talking. There's two things that y'all should do if you're in here right now. Totally two things that you should do. Go check out Sunset Swells. He's a really good friend of mine. And he does primarily music stuff and everything. Totally worth going to check out. Awesome guy, and help him kind of create his community, grow his community. And then you got to go check out our collaboration with each other. Hopefully we'll get another one off the ground here soon. As soon as now that I'm actually back at my hub and I can actually start making content for you guys. We did a uh, a music video, Dragon Ball Super parody of Sick Boy by the Chainsmokers, but it's actually Champ Boy for Hercule, right? So if you haven't already, and I really would hope like most people here probably would have seen it, because people who come and check out like live streams and stuff are those who really appreciate my content and want to just like listen to what I have to say as like a general human being, instead of someone who was like, oh, like I really appreciate your Dragon Ball Super opinion, which is I appreciate that too. But this is the type of stuff me along with my friend Connor, like, we want to do more of this stuff to you. We got, finally, it's been so long, we got a chance to actually, I guess, talk to each other, see each other. He lives further away from me, but we got a chance to see each other one of these past weekends, and we shot the shit, and we were just like, hey, like, we could do this, and we're really excited to bring all this stuff to you guys. So I'm putting this in the description section, both his link and also the link to the music video that we made if you haven't seen it. So that is something you should definitely go check out. Anyway, guys, Jiren wasn't nerfed. Yeah, hell yeah, he was. Nobody else just got strong ad. How much do you think Jiren is regretting his decision to relax and meditate? I think Jiren's going to regret that a lot. At the same time, I think Jiren appreciates the good fight. So I've said this since the very beginning. He has been making this huge mistake by just simply jumping in, not jumping in and completely taking everyone out. I know the Tournament of Power, at least in the manga form, is different than that. Like, he's basically brutal from the get-go, but the way that the Tournament of Power handled him in the anime has been really obnoxious, and I'm not really happy with it. Just gonna say that. What if Jiren had UI 2? The result would be different, and why? Oh wait, I already did that one. I have a theory. It's kind of off topic, but it's about Goku and Ultra Instinct from taking toll on his body. All right, make a video, man. If you, I'll always make a video, post it to me on Twitter or something like that. And if I have time, if I see it, if you post it more than once at me, because I'm telling you in the stream, just post it at me. If I don't get back to you like within a day or two, post it again. I'll see it eventually, right? So just do that over and over and over again. I'd love to check it out. Please answer my question about Jiren. Oh, I already answered that. We live. Gohan versus Hit. Gohan versus Hit definitely needs to happen. All right, it just skipped me to the very bottom, so that's where we are now. Okay, Gohan Ultra Instinct plus Ultimate Form plus Super Saiyan God equals Gohan's now form. It's possible. I don't think he's ever going to get it. I mean, if they weren't going to give him anything right now, they're never going to bring him back to any real degree in the future. So that's just part of it, right? Goku will get over that punishment fast. The future, though, we already know. Would you kill baby Hitler if you could travel back in time? No, I wouldn't. I know a lot of people think that that's monstrous to say, but I wouldn't, because I believe in paradoxes. I believe, well, it's not really a paradox, but I believe that if you create a vacuum of something that was going to happen, it's the whole butterfly effect, and things are going to change. So like, it could be even worse. Like, you don't know, and you can't keep going back in time to try to fix every little mistake. So like, you know, it sucks, but that's history, and we should just kind of not try to change it. I completely believe in that. Like, you're going to create this power vacuum there, and he's not going to be there. I don't know. But there's a lot of crazy stories with Hitler. Like, do you know that, so obviously Hitler fought in World War I. Do you know that he was actually spared by, I think it was an English soldier. He was spared for, I don't remember whatever reason. If everyone knows that story, tell me in tell me in this little chat, because it's kind of crazy story. Like, there's always so many weird concepts, or so many weird like coincidences of history, like how small our world is type of discussions, honestly. So who's the guy? Oh man, this is gonna bug me. This is gonna bug me. So I'll come back to it if I think about it. I'm not gonna waste any more time on this. Okay. Is he answering questions? I'm trying to answer questions. I'm just not like I get so far behind. You guys know, if you've ever been here before, you know I get super far behind because I have all these freaking rants that I go on, and I don't try to like. I try to legitimately answer questions, and I can't really get through them. UI Satan, you know, that's okay. That is the biggest thing that I hate about super ending. I'm gonna make a video about this. Wow, they have this like my sister has like television up so loud in the other room. Okay, so UI Satan. This is the thing I wanted to get from the very beginning of the Tournament of Power. I wanted another Battle of God situation where Mr. Satan takes credit for everything that happened, and he has this like, UI Satan, and he's telling everyone what happened. But I wanted him there like he was there for the preliminary matches, or at least more people there, so he could have seen what happened. He could have gotten an idea of what UI is, even though Mr. Satan wouldn't be able to follow it at all. So he could just go in there and be like, this is what happened. I got this completely new transformation, and I took on the multiverses people, and I saved our universe. And I was like, oh, Satan. Like, I don't know. I know that's an overplayed joke at this point. They've done it 3 times with Cell, Boo, and Beerus, but I still think that that's a hysterical joke that plays well every single time, especially the way that they've decided to manipulate it over the years. So I would have absolutely loved that. I think that would have been a great ending, and it still can be a great ending to Dragon Ball Super, but considering what they have to do in the next episode, if they're going to do everything, I don't see it happening whatsoever, and that really depresses me. I really do wish we had more time with this, even if it was just an episode or 2 of wrap-up. But that was way too much. Can I reach you through, man? Anyone can get through to me on Twitter. That's Twitter. You can YouTube message me, although I don't check it every day. You can email me. My email is on my about thing on my YouTube channel. And yeah, there's several ways to get hold of me, not just through the comment section. So if you're inclined to, please try. If I see it, I see it. I'm not ignoring you. If I don't respond to you and tell you one way or the other, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just not seeing it, and I can't really guarantee one way or the other because I'm really very busy on my own. Without this is like everyone probably knows at this point, this isn't really my job or anything. It's just something I do in my free time and how I kind of interact with people and grow my little community here, talking about the stuff that I enjoy. So I hope everyone can understand and realize that. And like I said, Twitter, email, YouTube message. There's so many different avenues outside of just the comment section or chat in the live stream. So yeah, take that with what you will. Kaioken has a massive recoil on the user's body. So does Ultra Instinct image effect using both would have if it was possible? Probably destroy you, honestly, but it would be cool. I mean, I can imagine that being like the next thing. They turned Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Blue into Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 1, 5, 10, 20, whatever it was. At any given point, that was an awesome thing. So yeah, definitely that would, I can imagine Goku figuring out a way to use that and actually make a difference with the fight. That would be kind of cool. Would you murder a random person to give the human race 50 years of world peace? Sure. Yeah, I would. If that was like, this is an ultimatum, like, yeah, I would, because I think that's a better outcome than like one person's life. I'm sorry, but I do. And now if you're asking if it would be me, I have to be a little bit more honest here. I'm not sure I'd do that. But it depends on a lot of factors, and I think that I think 50 years of world peace could be persuaded. That's a dark avenue, but I gotta say, like, it's possible, right? So I think I could. I think I could. I think most people could. I think a lot of people could be persuaded to. Now, if it's someone that you're very close to, though, you're talking about random people or something, I'll change the facts on you. Like someone you're really close to, someone you love, a very close family member, a loved one, any like a child, like that type of stuff. losing people here, too dark. I understand. Just posing it. Just to throw that question out there. Imagine UI hit. Unstoppable. Goku must be over the whole negative effects of Kaioken. Yeah, he has to be at this point. It would be crazy. The world would be better. How tough is Goku? Very tough. I have no idea. Real to real, you're a vacuum. Oh no. I'm a vacuum. If anything, I'd like to see Gohan get the opposite of UI. Sort of like maybe he can think, he'd think back to the brain, sending brain waves so fast there's no delay to his body. I think that's what UI is. I'm not sure, but I think that might be what UI is. If anything, I'd like. Yes. No. Okay. Gohan's a blank. I'm not gonna respond to that. I did a video about that the other day. If you want my thoughts on that, you can go check them out. But I wouldn't use that particular word. All right. Before 50 years, peace. Imagine Dispo with Tokotobashi, UI, and Ultra in instant transmission. Be crazy. That would be. The problem is like when you start taking characters at the very end of the turn of power and you start stacking them with Kaioken, Ultra Instinct, Instant Transmission, and all this other stuff that was already built around making those strong characters good enough to the point where they're able to actually take on the god tier or even above characters that they're fighting, then it doesn't matter. Like, you can sit there and be like, oh man, that's awesome. Like, that won't ever lose. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole point though. These techniques are just to make someone so impossibly unbeatable that they won't lose in general. So it wouldn't really matter if you have Goku getting, or Dispo or something, having all those techniques. He's already strong enough as it is. If he had all of that stuff, then he might be able to take on Jiren. I mean, there's no real way of knowing it, honestly. About Dr. Rota about to take over. UI Geekdom, your opinion. Oh man, I wouldn't want to deal with that. I have to say, I absolutely love Geekdom. I mean, I don't think my channel or this community or anything that I've been building would be anything without him. He noticed me very early on. Not the first one. I mean, like, D-Free was the first one to notice me, but that was before he was even as big as he was. But D-Free is definitely my biggest supporter in terms of, like, size and everything like that. But he is but I really do like Danny a lot. I think he's such a nice guy, and I think that there's so many people who look at his internet persona and don't see the humor in it or see what he's actually trying to do, and judge him based off that. But when you talk to him, or talk about him, in his personal time, spend hours on the phone with him, you get to see like he is just like a normal guy. Like, he's not the way he acts on Twitter or in YouTube or something like that. All of that is play. And you think about someone like him, especially if you go follow World of Geekdom, you have like, he is such a wrestling fan, and he has played up this persona that wrestling's all about and everything. He basically lives that. It's his whole social media gimmick, and it's one of the things a lot of people bought into. People who love his shtick, who understand it, who just like it for the ballsiness of it, or the people who love to hate it. There's just so many different aspects of it, and it works for him. I think that that's one of the perfect things about what he actually does in this community, and I don't think anyone should really hate him for the way that he portrays himself on Twitter or anything else like that, because the guy tries to be that way. It's not naturally like that. You know, sometimes he's very genuine, sometimes he just jumps down people's throats, but like, I can tell you, it's all an act. It's all an act, and he's trying genuinely to stop people from lying to other people and all this other stuff. So I would just say that You might not agree. You might agree. I mean, you don't unless you talk to someone for like I have for a couple hours online. You go into the wee hours of the morning after like a 6-hour conversation and stuff like that. Like it's hard to judge people if you don't really get a chance to know them when there's no wall in between like what you can say and what you can't and how deep your conversation can go, everything like that. So yeah, I really appreciate what Geekdom's done for this community, and I'm glad to be a supporter of him. I'm happy that he's a supporter of me, in various ways and stuff like that. So, Ultra Instinct Geekdom. Those are my thoughts. Who do you predict winning the Tournament of Power at this point? I have no idea. The problem is I have not seen the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super, so I really can't talk about. I can't talk about. I don't mind being spoiled, but I don't really want to be spoiled on the latest episode because we're so close to the end, and I just want to experience it with everyone else in the best way possible. So I don't really know exactly what happened. I mean, I know like generally like what the spoilers say and stuff, but I don't know how it plays out like beat for beat, scene for scene, or even what it looks like. So that's one of the things I'm really excited for when I'm probably done with this stream and I get a chance to go watch that particular episode. So I don't know, hoping that I get to see soon. Will you be at KamehaCon? I won't, and I'm really, really bummed about that. I love you guys. I wanted to be there so bad, but school and life and everything else takes precedent. And when all of that is going on, as hard as it's going to be, I cannot make it. I cannot spare like even a single day. I cannot spare to study for my exams. They're very, very important to me. Everything that's going to happen in those days, if it was like mid-May, I would be there in a heartbeat. I would have my tickets. I'd be ready to go. I would be making like I would do what MJ is doing, is like making shirts and stuff. Like, oh man, it'd be so much fun. But no, I can't, and that's what's really bumming me out. So I don't know. Speed it up, man. I don't need to speed it up. This is my stream. I just want to answer everyone's question as genuinely as I possibly can. So, I'm trying. The opposite of UI would essentially be foresight. If UI is about instinct, the instinct response, the opposite of this sense would be known. Would be to know before it happens, right? Maybe. I mean, but what's the difference? I understand where you're coming from, but I don't understand where the difference comes from, and maybe that's where I'm getting a little bit shaken up about what that actually really means, or how that would be displayed in a visual format like UI has been. So I'm not sure. If Goku could get that would be interesting. FMK, Kefla, Baba, Topo. Marry Kefla, or Khalifla, not Kefla. Kill Baba, and I'm going for it. Topo. We get that 50 Shades of Gods of Destruction Hakai thing going on right now. Gosh, it's hard to talk without getting thirsty. Best fight ever. UI Vegeta versus UI Jiren. Oh my gosh. I would really love that. I think one of the biggest mistakes that Dragon Ball Super made throughout the entire run is nerfing every single fusion. Gonna put my hand on it. That's the worst mistake they did in the entire freaking series. I wish that they hadn't have done that, but they did, and I'm not really proud of it. Or I don't think we should be proud of it. Fusion was a really awesome technique, and now outside of the Namek fusion, which Nameks are like null and void at this point. Even Gohan and Piccolo can take them out, and Piccolo doesn't actually match up to Goku and Vegeta, although I wish it would be cool if he did. It doesn't really get us anywhere. So that fusion, all fusion in the entire show, makes no difference anymore. They're so strong, or so powerful that you have no time to fight, or it's not powerful enough and you're completely overwhelmed by your enemy. That's not fun. Just a thought. This would probably be a very off topic, but I thought of a way that false Super Saiyan could have been canon. I could see it coming in when Frieza killed Vegeta around that area of time. Oh, like Vegeta getting it or Goku getting it. I think it would have been a nice little foreshadowing as to the what was meant to be or what was going to happen in the very near future type of thing. But I don't really think it was necessary. Maybe because go back and watch or read that portion of the show and you think, or that the series, and you think they're bringing up Super Saiyan a lot. And they're not really showing us anything about it. Like, there's no difference. There should be some kind of difference transformation, because at that point we didn't have a whole lot of transformation. I mean, we had the great ape form that Goku and Vegeta had both had, and Gohan as well. And then you also had Zarbon had his transformation, and Frieza had her his transformations. And I feel like at that point, even with as little as there had been throughout the entire series, of course I'm missing some here and there, but as little as there had been throughout the entire series, I was wondering, I guess we were all wondering whether it was going to be something completely different, especially since there was no huge upgrade in Goku's power. He was still losing to Frieza, and that was such a legendary myth or something that Vegeta was talking about, and a huge plot point that whenever we saw it, we were going to know what it was. And when Goku transforms into Super Saiyan, it's like, oh, yeah, that's the thing. That's what we were all waiting for, and we all get really super hyped for it. And of course, there are people like me who was like, oh, that's really cool. But the older I got, I was like, maybe that's not Super Saiyan. Ooh, like, what if there was a new, different type of Super Saiyan and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, there's a lot of different avenues that you can explore that. But, no, I don't really think that the whole, like, false Super Saiyan thing, that was from movie 4 of Dragon Ball Z, and also a last-minute editorial change in the anime that actually should have been canon. It's a cool form, but it's not really necessary. Imagine Topo without a mustache. The guy has probably zero face. He needs that. He definitely needs that. Yeah. He can act like a complete douchebag. That is no play. We can all act like complete douchebags. I would love to have seen Gohan help out against Jiren if 17 could. Why not Gohan? I agree. I said this in my video yesterday. I just reiterate myself right here. Gohan should have gotten more shine. I understand why. I understand that it's not his character. I understand that there's too many Saiyans in this whole tournament. I understand everyone got a transformation. We get a little bit exhausted of transformations, yada, yada, yada. But Gohan was someone that they had kind of sprinkled in hints here and there and gave us an interesting way to what you can show about this. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Gohan probably should have gotten a little bit more shine, and I really think one of the reasons he didn't get a lot of shine is because they had 17. They wanted to build up 17 to give us this whole thing with him. So yeah, like it's neither here nor there. I don't know, honestly. Imagine Jiren with Topo's mustache. That would be hilarious. Let's see. Human societal advancement is achieved through conflict, a conflict of morals, ideas, wars, etc. Without conflict, the lack of peace, there would be no advancement. World peace wouldn't be that nice. I think that is a pessimistic view of world peace. I think we forget. I mean, I understand the sentiment for it, but I think you're forgetting like the unknown, really. I think that there are people born in this world who want to advance and want to do right for not only themselves but other people. We've never lived in a world or society or anything that's been free of conflict ever, right? So we have no idea of judging what could possibly be accomplished if that were the case. So I just personally believe you can't argue, oh, it just wouldn't work out because this is the way it's always been. That's never a good argument. Like, we can always try something different and see how we progress from there. Just my thoughts, though. I mean, I personally think that I do personally think that, yeah, like the vast majority of people without any conflict in their world or life or anything else like that would kind of sink into the bottom. But I do think that there are some people out there who are progressive and what they believe is their personal own conflict that they need to conquer. I've met people like that. People who I've met in the first 5 minutes, they tell me and they go off on these long tangents about, I'm going to cure cancer or I'm going to do this. And it's sometimes, like, I'd say like sometimes, maybe more than half, there's like this own personal tragedy with this or personal story with this or conflict, but sometimes there's just people who are like, it's just my goal. Like, this is just something that I want to do, and I don't care who's going to stand in my way or what I have to do. This is going to be the thing that I strive for. And I have to say, I mean, maybe you or I or anyone else like isn't really that type of person. We're all just kind of looking out for ourselves, trying to figure out how we're going to get through next day. But some people are born and grow up and learn to have these aspirations that no one and nothing's going to stop them. And there's not this overwhelming conflict. There's not a personal or physical, there's not a literal war standing in between them and figuring out how this is going to be done. I think, and that's an individual level, honestly. And I can only imagine that our world governments and all this other stuff would be able to kind of see past this as well. I think even though there's no world conflicts, I mean, world peace, I mean, what does that mean? It's a really broad topic. Some people be like, oh, there's no more war and all this other stuff, but what does that really mean? I would imagine that we would start building up for something else. But I agree with you. I understand where you're coming from. I think we as a human race need something to gang together and fight against and actually strive to defeat. And a perfect example here would be Zack Snyder's and for the most part the original comic Watchmen. I think that's a really good lesson. It was like achieving world peace through making a huge show of extraterrestrial force. I think something that we could probably get behind, and showing like, oh, like maybe there's some other thing out there that we need to band together and actually fight against. Like that to me is something that could personally happen, but I'm not sure. I mean, I don't. Last thing I'm going to say on this, I don't like. I just want to say, I think it's not a genuine argument, or not even just a genuine argument, but I think it's a short-sighted argument to say this is something that won't happen because it's never happened before. We've never lived in a situation where that hasn't been the case, where we haven't advanced through conflict, or where conflict isn't always at the tip of everyone's tongue or something like that. If it's not one thing, it's always the other, and the very idea of world peace, while it's laughable, still in the hypothetical that you're bringing up, is one person dies, like one random person, myself, someone I know, anyway, I don't know, dies for 50 years of world peace. You say we're stagnant with world peace. I say you're not thinking broadly enough, because you can't use historical ideas or reference points to indicate what is a legitimate, like a bona fide hypothetical of world peace. At least in my opinion. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that. I calculate Vegeta Blue's power level is at least 16 octillion, 1,600 octillion. Who cares? It's not humans. Nice concept, but okay. Blah blah blah. Is Dragon Ball Super a series come back? Will it still be called Dragon Ball Super? I kind of think, since the movie is Probably not. It'll probably have a different subtitle just to kind of identify it between all the other ones. I mean, I understand the original manga was all Dragon Ball, but there's a reason they made Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, or Naruto Shippuden, or something like that, and Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball GT, or something like that. If it comes back, it's going to have a different subtitle, because people at that point will be like, wait, is this the same series or something? And they're going to want to say like, oh no, this isn't the same series. Plus, it gives them a great way to be like, remember what happened in Dragon Ball Super? Of course you do. It was a couple years ago. It was a huge hit. We're restarting the entire series at this point. Not like a reboot, but it's like Goku and Vegeta at that point, whatever they pick it up. Oh, they're stronger than gods of destruction. So now whoever they fight, there's always going to be no one to step in their way. And like, Goku and Vegeta literally have to save the day or something like that. I think it's a really awesome place for them to start the series. With Goku and Vegeta at the bottom of whatever antagonizing force is coming up against them. But Beerus and Whis and all these other people are as well. That was one of the weirdest things about Dragon Ball Super. They started off with a hierarchy, a huge hierarchy, with Goku and Vegeta on one plane, but Beerus and all the gods of destruction on another, and then Whis and all the angels on another, and then the Daishinkan and Zeno and all these other people. There's a huge hierarchy that we had never started off a series for before, but now they're kind of correcting that with the whole Jiren fight and Ultra Instinct and everything that Goku gets. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I would love for them to bring it back, but no, it is not going to be called Dragon Ball Super, at least in my opinion. If Dragon Ball... I always get confused on where I started. Okay. I think one of the reasons they nerfed Potara Fusion is that Goku Black arc was to make Future Trunks the hero of his own arc. Yeah, that's totally acceptable. It's totally fine. I hate it. I understand a lot of people love that arc for various reasons, but I have to just say, I completely despise the way that they decided to do that arc with Trunks and the fusion and everything that went along with that arc. Going back and forth between timelines and everything else like that. They were allowed too many breathing areas, too much breathing room to actually win that fight. And the whole immortality thing, cool concept. Like, finally, someone after all this time gets more immortality that isn't a movie character, and we can explore what that means for that character, and especially the fusion between that character and Immortal and all this other stuff. But it just didn't pan out, and they tried so heavily by making Future Trunks, a joke of a character. I know a lot of people like him, but making him, as D-Free said throughout that entire arc last year, just a Xenoverse character, create your own character with everybody's skill set, everyone's main move, Masenko, Spirit Bomb Sword, even though he didn't do it really intentionally, but Mafuba, Galagon, yada yada yada. It's just like, stop this. It is so unnecessary to give Trunks everything just to make him stand out in his own arc. I mean, fan service be dang. Like, that was the worst thing that they ever did in this entire show, I think. I didn't like it when they first did it. I still don't like it. I really wish that they would have done something a little more genuine or a little bit smarter with that arc. If you were going to bring back Trunks, you bring him back in the best way possible, and they just decided they're going to bring him back with no legitimate story put in place. And I know a lot of people are going to point to say that, oh, Toriyama came up with this months before. Maybe he should have taken a little longer, or someone should have actually said no. He shouldn't be surrounded by yes man. That was not his best arc. In fact, I would put that near the lowest arcs that Dragon Ball has ever produced. And yes, I'm talking Dragon Ball GT, the first 13 episodes type of bad. I did not like it. I know a lot of people are going to be, ugh. The Masu, Goku Black, those were really cool concepts. I love the villain. The villain was the only entity in that entire arc that made it worth watchable, and I cannot wait to rewatch it along with the rest of the series. But I just gotta say, it could have been done so much better. And people who sit there and say, oh, it was a great arc, or that was like the arc that made me really love Dragon Ball Super. Have you seen the Tournament Power? There's so many awesome things that this show has given us. Yes, it's made just mistakes, but gosh, I really wish they would have tried a little bit something a little different. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Hi, Mom. Goku is resting. Gohan and Vegeta team up versus Jiren, Golden Frieza, and full power 17 versus Kefla. What do you think? Gohan and Vegeta team up versus Jiren. Jiren beats them. Golden Frieza, full power 17 versus Kefla. Golden Frieza and 17 fight Kefla. They win. I know Kefla is like super strong, probably stronger than both of those people combined, at least with the time being that she's fused, but those two people are pretty cunning. I think they win by default. Thank you, Victor. I love you too, man. Let's see. KSI versus Logan Paul confirmed for August 25. Your opinions on the whole YouTube boxing theme. I imagine some DB tubers fight each other. I don't like it, honestly. If it is really confirmed, I have no idea if it's confirmed. I think it's kind of ridiculous. That's a whole other discussion, honestly. Probably best served for my third channel, but I mean, we'll talk. I might actually do a live stream sometime in the next week on that channel. It's something I would probably promote on both of my channels, so people actually jump over and watch that stuff. But that is really more of the time when we talk about this. It's too far away from Dragon Ball. Not that I haven't actually done anything like that. I was once that idealistic, but now I think I'm not intelligent enough to change the world, to be honest. No, I'm not intelligent enough to change the world. I don't think I made that. I don't know what you're referencing. I haven't made that distinction. A very nice sentiment of peace and such. On less philosophical note, Kale or Broly, who do you prefer? Oh man, that's a hard question. Okay, I know this is weird because obviously we've talked about like way deeper things here, but I honestly think that that's a hard question. Kale versus Broly, who do you prefer? I have to say, and a lot of people are going to jump down my throat, I prefer Broly. And it's not because he's big and strong and also a male and blah, 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 like all the other things that you can put in my words. I love, personally, just the Broly movies. I've always loved them, the whole concept. I think one of the things that makes them the standouts of the entire movies, the original 13 movies, is they're not particularly Goku films. Yes, Goku comes in and saves the day primarily in most of them. Not Bio Broly, which makes Bio Broly one of the better films, but it's about Vegeta, then it's about Gohan and Goten and Trunks and Videl, which I think is some of the best like slice of life moments in any of the movies whatsoever. And then it's just about the whole 18 collecting the money from Mr. Satan and all this other stuff. Like, there's some legitimately great parts in all three of those movies that I cannot say that every other movie is either as memorable or fun. I love the Broly movies in that regard, and I know you can't do this. I know a lot of people would say that this is blasphemy, but I consider Broly canon in my way of watching the show. It just depends on where you put it at, because I would put, obviously, as crazy as it is, and nonsensical, but Dragon Ball is never sensical. You put the first Broly in between the Cell game timeline, so obviously there's some inconsistencies there, but like I just said, it doesn't really matter. So in between Cell, they go with Broly, blah blah blah, and then I also put the right after Gohan meets Videl, somewhere in that. I don't know the official word count. This is like my third video or something on this channel if you really want to go check out my thoughts on this. It was really old, where I was just really kind of stale. I didn't know how to talk to the mic, yada yada yada. I discussed it in much more detail, but I put that in between the Gohan meeting Videl, training for the World Martial Arts Tournament, and before the World Martial Arts Tournament actually begins. That story takes place for me, and then Bio Broly takes place after after all the Boo stuff, so it doesn't really conflict with everything, and you just completely forget the last scene with Goku actually exists. And yeah, that's the way I actually appreciate it. I've lived my life much longer with Broly. I do like Kale. I think her character can be explored to greater depth, but Kale, we don't have a whole lot with her, and as much as anyone wants to say like she's just as one note as Broly is, I mean, we don't know a whole lot about her. Maybe in a couple of months where they decide to do like a story about her, or they bring her back in the movie, or they bring her back in some kind of future series or something, like we can actually explore this girl a little bit more. Now, Broly versus Kefla versus Kale or something like that, or Caulifla. I always say Kefla instead of Caulifla, but Caulifla, in my opinion, is the best female Saiyan. Like, she's awesome. I would totally pick her over everyone else because she has personality, she has character to her, and I would really like to see her more in future series, future movies, or something like that. So, I know that was a big aside. All my things are super big asides, and I don't mean that. I think that's why people get so they get mad that I don't really answer all the questions because I take too long answering one in particular question. But I hope you like that. I mean, it's one of the things I plan to do here. I hope to do here. Greetings from Greece. It's 1:30. It's 1:23 a.m. Or I'm assuming a.m. Because I imagine Greece is on military time. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. Pitch dark. Well, yeah. Okay, pitch dark outside, and I'm watching my favorite YouTuber. 100% worth it. Oh, that is just like absolutely so sweet, man. Thank you so much. I've done this too, like stayed up way too late to watch someone that I've really appreciated, and I really hope you're having a good night, man. I know it's super late over there. So I really do appreciate you having taking the time to watch this stuff and listen to me just blatantly answer these questions and ranting and raving about like whatever people ask me and my genuine opinions on certain things. So I really do appreciate it. I hope you're having fun. Same here, and Dunks have homework next to me. Oh my gosh, yeah. I have homework that I have yet to do too. I hate it. Yes, I can use history. Conflicts are decreasing, and we're heading towards world peace. UI Vegeta, the fuck. UI Vegeta would legit be Zeno. I don't know about that. Next name: Dragon Ball Ultimate, Dragon Ball Beyond, Dragon Ball Ultra. Which one, if you want? I would love Dragon Ball Beyond, actually. I think Dragon Ball Beyond would be a really cool name, but that's a good question, honestly. Dragon Ball Beyond, Dragon Ball Ultra. I could see Dragon Ball Ultra too. Dragon Ball Infinite, Dragon Ball something. I mean, I don't know. Dragon Ball E. What if Jiren was absorbed by had absorbed the Spirit Bomb? I don't think it really changes the game very much. I know it was a lot of energy, but I refuse to believe that was the strongest Spirit Bomb because we only got people in Universe 7 giving their energy, and Vegeta didn't even share his energy for it. And nobody who shared their energy was particularly tired, and they only had a minute to rest or something. So yeah, I think it's bull that was like the strongest Spirit Bomb. I know some people might argue that. I don't know if anyone's argued like how strong that was in comparison to all other Spirit Bombs that were shown throughout the series. But I don't think it would have made much of a difference. When Ultra Instinct reel to reel? Probably never. Do you watch any football, soccer, or for Americans? I do not watch any football. I'll watch the World Cup when it comes around. I somewhat cheer for the men and women. I cheer for the American team, and I've also cheered for Koreans, but they never do very well. My girlfriend's Korean, and she's trying to make me learn Korean, which is hard, but I do cheer with her for Korea. Broly is the GOAT. Broly is one of the better films? Question mark. Yes, Broly is Dragon Ball Fighters. Do you watch football? I already got to that. I'm skipping a couple of them. Sorry, guys. You're supposed to be a super fanboy, but in this stream you've said this is the worst thing that Super has done at least 3 times. That was a joke, by the way. Oh, okay. No, look. How many times have you seen fanboys just absolutely hating on the things that they love? I think it's totally fine for us to hate what we love and still love it without people judging or genuinely thinking that, oh, we're not really fans. It's like, of course we are. We're not overly happy with everything that they give to us at any given point during the day or throughout an entire series run. I mean, I'm not totally happy with everything I've ever been a fan of has given me. But I learned to see through the flaws and see things that I absolutely love. And I'm willing to enjoy them. As much as I don't like what they did with Gohan, as much as I don't like the entirety of the Future Trunks arc, or the way they decided to tell that story outside of the villains, or even bringing Trunks back for a couple of awesome scenes here and there, I still can't wait to buy and watch and ingest that stuff over and over again. I know what you're saying. That is somewhat of a strange thing, and yes, it's weird, and I'm not being completely fair, but like I said, this is really just free flow, and I'm not really taking the time to think out what I'm saying between any question that I ask that is asked and I answered throughout this entire stream. So I hope y'all can understand that, at least from that perspective. Jiren is the opposite of Thanos. How do you think about that? Okay, I'm gonna go off on a little side here. I kind of hate the way that they're portraying Thanos in the newest trailer. I'm assuming everyone has seen the newest trailer for Infinity War. I am super pumped about it. I can't wait to see it. But when we were first introduced to Thanos in Avengers, the post-credit scene, the guy's to visit Earth or something to fight these people is to basically court death. And we get a big ass smile from Thanos, and he's like, hey, you know what? I love death, and that makes sense for his comic book character. So I'm not a huge comic book reader. I do go on wikis and listen to people. I love the mythology there and everything else like that, but who has the time to read 40 years worth of history when it comes to Marvel or DC or anything else like that? I want to know as much as I can, but I don't really want to take the time to read every particular chapter. So excuse me if I'm getting certain things wrong here. I will totally eat my words if I'm completely wrong. But as far as my understanding goes, Thanos is actually, at least in the comics, trying to court death. Death is a physical entity in the comic books that's not Helena. I don't know if there's anything that's particularly related to Helena or death in the comics, but the way that they portrayed it in the MCU is Helena, Thor's sister, Thor and Loki's sister, is the goddess of death, so it would make sense that he's trying to court her. But the way that they portrayed it in the trailers is that he just wants to balance out everything. Maybe that's his motivation in the comics. I'm not sure. But as far as I was aware, he snaps, destroys half the world's population or half the universe's population, not to make everything whole and to balance out the universe, but to ultimately say, hey, look, Death, you're my bae, and I want to do my best for my bae, so he's like, I'm doing this to impress you. Can you please be with me because I'm trying to court you? It seems like they changed that, isn't it? Like he's just trying to balance out the universe. He's trying to make things copacetic, which I guess ultimately would make him more sympathetic to the grander audience. It's not just a love gesture. It's literally this guy sees the problem with the way the universe is being held, and he's trying to change it the best way he knows possible. I can get behind that. But I'm not sure. I could be completely wrong with everything I just said. But they seem to have changed that, and I think it kind of waters down this whole Romeo and Juliet, grand love gesture that the comic books was trying to express with the whole snap thing and taking out half the universe. So, I mean, take that what you will. I think Thanos is a really cool villain. I can't wait to see him portrayed on screen, even though Marvel has a history of really going the other way with villains. I think that they've been slowly making an uptick with everything that they're doing, not just with Helena, but Killmonger, and also the Vulture from Homecoming. So Homecoming, Thor, and then Killmonger. Hopefully that trend continues where it's good villain, great villain. Oh man, Thanos could be as they say, the Vader of the MCU. I think that that's possible, and it'd be really awesome to see. Okay. Oh gosh. I hope you guys like appreciate. Before I go off any further, I hope you guys appreciate, like, I know a lot of people have called me out on my older videos, like, oh man, you can't talk, like, you talk like shit, like it's not ums or ams and you know, it's like, oh, probably and necessarily. I understand, like, I used to say words a lot more frequently as kind of a mental break or recess from what I was trying to say or how I was trying to go free flow. But I really think, if I could toot my own horn, I think I'm doing a little bit better now, actually talking free flow in a way that's comprehensible and also not completely devoid of thought or entertainment. Like, that's the thing I'm trying to go for here. I want to be able to talk to you guys as fluidly as possible without trying to take breaks like ams, you know, and all that other stuff. Obviously, I still do that. Everyone still does that from time to time. But that's one of the reasons that I absolutely love doing stuff on YouTube, is it kind of kicks your ass to do something a little bit different, to force yourself to talk and think in a different way. And I think it makes you smarter. So like I always say, if you want to do a YouTube page, a YouTube channel or something, that is a good way to do it. That's like a good lesson to learn. It will make you more energetic when you talk to people. It'll make it easier to speak. It'll make it easier to speak to people, and it would make you less nervous in public speaking and all this other stuff. Because heck, you put yourself out there for an hour to around, let's say, 30 people who are just sitting here listening to you. I mean, heck, and none of this is pre-prepared or anything. There's people who can judge me, I've seen some nasty stuff on comments. I've seen some nasty stuff in chats and all this other stuff. Totally worth it. If I can just encourage anyone who has been teetering on the idea that they want to start a YouTube channel or something else like that, but they feel like, oh, I can't possibly do this. It seems too hard. It's a learning experience. And if you want to do it, I completely encourage you to do it. And like I said earlier on in this discussion, if you guys want to do one, then all you need to do is start a YouTube channel, do a video or two or something, send it to me on Twitter, send it to me on YouTube message, send it to me in email or something like that, and just ask me for my thoughts, you know. And if I like what I see, then I'll tell you what you need to improve. But if I like what I see, I'll tell you what you're doing great, what I want to see more of in the future, and also, like, heck, if I really like what I see, I'd want to work with you. So let's, anyone who is encouraged. So that is something I think always needs to be said, just to kind of help anyone who's really feeling like they need or they've been wanting to do something, because it would kind of complete them or make them really excited for something in the future. And I don't care what it is. It's Dragon Ball, movies, anything, like whatever you want. Oh gosh. Okay. What if Gowasu threw up the Super Dragon Ball Goku Black? What kind of effect? Threw up with Super Dragon Ball Black. What kind of effect would that have on the Tournament of Power? Oh, threw up. Showed up or something. I don't know. If you want to know, like, what happens if Zamasu and Black were in the Tournament of Power, then go look up MJ. I know he did a video on that quite a while ago, and I think people really responded to it. I don't remember what exactly he said on it, so I won't really comment, but there's definitely a lot of discussions on that, so you should check that out. I wish Kale kept the wild berserker form. I like the idea of a quiet person with who lost their motherfucking shit. Lost their shit. I really liked it too. I really did. I like the fact that she mastered it though, and I like the fact that she can contain that power in a way that would allow her to actually be a little bit more intelligible. I think it would serve her character more in the future, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. The problem is that they're ending it within the next episode, so there's not much more they can do with her, and she's been gone for the vast majority of the rest of the arc. So I agree. It probably was a little too much for her to master at this point, and I wish that they had stopped for a little bit and decided that the best course or the best option here was just going to be allow her to have this berserker form, then taken out super early in the tournament. That's what I would have done, but, you know, it's really not up to me. Dragon Ball Sexy Time. Miss your debates and Suican half hours. Oh my gosh, so do I. But it's just, like, those are really, like, those videos, although I really like them, are hard to do. Because, one, Kanji and I do not live in the same time zone. We are 6 hours apart, 5 hours apart whenever, or 6 or 7, hours apart whenever, and it's hard for us to actually get enough time to actually talk to each other, let alone think of like topics and ways that we're going to approach these things, and a lot of it is just kind of half-assed and not really, oh, okay, these are the things that we're doing at any particular point, and I don't really know. Like, I wish we could do more of them, is what I'm saying, I guess. Imagine if Dragon Ball renamed to Dragon Testicles. My keyboard is so broken. Do you think that Boo could have a game changer in the Tournament of Power? Do you think that absorbing eating opponent technically count as killing? I think what Boo could have done, because what it really came down to at the end of the Tournament of Power was just kind of conserving your stamina, really, and being able to fight people as time whittled down, and Goku and Vegeta had to go into their blue mode very quickly. I think one of the things that Boo could have done, if it was possible, would be to turn everyone to candy, swallow them, and then jump off himself. Not everyone, but a vast majority of people. You know, you're talking about like 40 people, 40, 50, 60 people, to the point where you have a vast majority of Universe 7 left, and Boo just swallows people, jumps off, eliminates himself and everyone else, and just spits everyone out. I think that could have been a game changer, because Goku and Vegeta wouldn't have been as exhausted. But at the same time, because Goku and Vegeta was exhausted, because Goku was exhausted, they had a chance to level up and reach their limits more so than they would have if they didn't actually try. So, no, I think Boo probably would have hurt Goku and Vegeta more so than anything, actually, now that I think about it. Where's MJ? Spoilers from 130 hits clone eliminates Jiren. Oh. I hope so. I love Jiren. Like I said earlier on, I don't know how many people heard that or not, but I haven't actually watched episode 130 yet, so I'm not gonna comment on it. Kale is Boo Saga level, and she goes Super Saiyan Green, and she can fight a god tier ass pool. I fights a god tier ass pool. I don't know. I mean, you could say Boo tier level, but I mean, I wouldn't put her at Boo tier level, and I'm not a power scaler, and I don't really think it's worth actually taking. I know a lot of people like it, and a lot of people like breaking it down. I really don't think it's worth taking the time to actually break it down and try to figure out exactly what's going on, because they don't care. And if they don't care, we shouldn't care. We should just kind of focus on who's hiding what, and what it means for the story, let alone like whether or not someone can actually stand up to one person or not. Because this tournament has showed us that it doesn't matter who's strong or who's stronger than who or not. It's just like, if the story's going to progress characters to a point where they're able to fight people because the story demands it, not really the power scaling. Power scaling hasn't mattered and been referenced even since Trunks showed up, so I'm not sure. And it didn't matter then. That was the whole point. It didn't matter, so I don't know. I think Frieza fighting for another universe would be interesting, especially if he's competing for Universe 6, to have him interact with not just Frost, but Hit, the Saiyans, and even the Namekians. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. I think Frieza would have been more interesting if he was actually competing with another universe. At this point, I really liked what they were doing with him, but the fact that they've been keeping him out of the tournament for so long was really annoyed me. I really wish that they would have shown him some more love. But as I said, I'm going to always put a lot of the problems with this tournament on the feet of two characters, Goku and 17. They thought from the very beginning, and I know they did this, it was like, we need that emotional moment with 17 because he's the one that we can sacrifice, because everyone knows that all these characters are alive and well and all this other stuff. There's no problem there. There's no problem there or anything at these times. We need an emotional moment. Boom. 17 is going to die. We knew that. And then Goku, we need Goku in a battle royale situation. Only reason they did a battle royale situation is to have Goku take out almost every single universe, or single-handedly take out the vast majority of people in every single universe. So, well, we can't do that in a normal tournament because we can't give Goku so much shine, so we're just going to give Goku too much shine. And it's like, come on. Like, is this really the story that you wanted to tell? Okay, yeah, it is. Over. I guess if it's the thing that sells toys, that's fine. But Frieza joining another universe would have been better for the story, at least in my opinion. If I was going to do it, that would be the first thing I did. Frieza ultimately ends up betraying everyone, goes into another universe, probably at the start of the Tournament of Power, maybe before it, or something else like that. It would have been awesome. Especially when we had tournaments, or teams in the tournament have less than 9 people, or less than 10 people, be it 8 or 9 or whatever it was. They could have done that, where like, oh, they only have 9 people. I was like, oh, this doesn't look good. I was like, oh, what are they thinking? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, oh, it's because Frieza is part of their team, right? Like, that would have been cool, but no. Harambe. Do you know or watch Supernatural? So I do watch Supernatural. I've only gotten like halfway through season 10, and I kind of put it down like 2 years ago. This is what's bad. I put it down like 2 years ago, right? I haven't bought, and I usually buy them. Don't have enough money right now, but I have season 10, I have season 11, I have season 12, and I have yet to buy, what is it, season 12? 13? No, I think they're on season 13. I think I've yet to buy season 12. So I have season 10 and I have season 11, but I've yet to buy season 12. I need to sit down and watch it. It's like one of my favorite shows. It's so good. It's so melodramatic, and it's probably not one of those shows that a lot of people can get into, but it's definitely a lot of awesome character developments, character moments, and it's super like emotional. It's so melodramatic at every step of the way. The very fact that they kind of leapfrog around each other in terms of like, I'll sacrifice myself for you, I'll sacrifice myself for you. It's like, oh my gosh, like, this is family show oriented. It's just totally fine. I'm kind of looking forward to the spinoff that they're trying to do. I know they already tried one that failed miserably, but if you watch the show, and they tried to do like this backdoor pilot where they're selling the show as one of the episodes in the current season of the show, that one was really bad. It was like a Romeo and Juliet type of thing, and just didn't work out, at least in my opinion. I'm glad that they never did that. But the spinoff, I think for season 13, that they're going to try to shoehorn in there is going to be really awesome, because I think that they have those characters built up enough to give it a... It's kind of similar in the same way to the main show, but it's built up enough to allow that to be interesting. Like, these are characters that we actually want to continue on and explore a little bit more. Just gonna leave it at that. What do you think the wish will be next week? You dirty question skipper. I try not to skip questions, but I get so far behind. I think we're not gonna see it. I think we're not gonna see it. I think we're just gonna get the idea that all the universes will wish back, and I don't think we're gonna know who wins. That's my big, bold prediction. It has been for a while, and I really hope they do that. Nothing wrong with your talk. You talks. Well, you could change a few things, in my opinion, but it's really not bad. I don't know what anyone is talking about. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's see. Someone stop him. This goes on forever. I'm gonna stop soon. I promise. I'm gonna stop soon. I agree. Thanos would be more interesting if he was trying to impress Helena as opposed to being evil for evil's sake. I don't think he's evil for evil's sake. I think he's like the best villains are people who think that their way of doing things is justified, and I think that's one of the ways they're going to play up Thanos is whatever he's trying to do is not evil. I think he's going to think it's justified for what's going on in the world around him, and he's going to try to fix it. So that's what I think. I'm not sure, though. It could be either way. He could just be, like, ridiculously evil, but I still wish he was trying to impress Helena. Maybe he is, and we're just not really getting to see it, but I really hope that that's the case, because I think it would be kind of cool. I mean, they introduced her. I thought she was one of the better villains. She's still out there somewhere, I believe. I don't think she was killed off. But maybe it's too much to juggle. I mean, that movie's going to be so much to juggle that I don't know if they can actually do it well. But it's really hard not to count off an MCU movie. Like, have they had any real bombs? Have they had any movie that's like just totally not worth watching? And I know I might get some haters for this, but the only movie in the entire MCU canon that feels like it's just totally worthless and I'm unable to watch it, drum roll, Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is the worst MCU movie by far. I understand a lot of people hate the Dark World, but the Dark World's kind of campy in its own right, and it's kind of cool the way that they decided to take Thor back to Asgard and have him do all that stuff, but dang, Iron Man 3 is terrible. Just so terrible. Tell us your real name. Tell us the real names of Herms if Herms really exists. Herms really exists. What? How old is Frieza? I have no idea. I'd imagine he's in his like 50s. Do you do Dungeons and Dragons? If so, what do you play? I do not do Dungeons and Dragons. I know that this is personal, but is your favorite kind of porn? What answer if you want? I'm not gonna answer that. Last episode was amazing. Hi, my friend. I saw that you were online. How nice. How about Android 17 and his comeback on the fighting stage? Do you think that the MVP? Who do you think is the MVP of this tournament? It's probably 17. Opinion for Screw Attack. I don't know. What is your prediction for next episode? Mine is Jiren wins and wishes Universe 7 back with Super Dragon Balls. I want them to just... My main wish for the Tournament of Power. Totally agree. Iron Man 3 stinks. Who will die in Infinity War? Okay, last two questions. All right. So, who would die in Infinity War and what would the wish be? The wish, I hope, is whoever wins, I don't care, brings back all the universes, and the Zenos nerf all the Dragon Balls. I think that would be an interesting, ballsy ending that no one sees coming, and if they were ever going to continue the show, it would align with everyone like Goku and everyone else being like, okay, we can't really rely on the Dragon Balls anymore, and the audience would be like, holy crap. But that's what I would love. Even if it's just wishing back one universe, nerfing all the Dragon Balls besides Super Dragon Balls or something, but probably have to wish back all the universes and nerfing all of them. I don't know. And then maybe nerfing those Dragon Balls from the Zeno's point of view brings back Sarama to bring him back sometime in the near future of the series, which makes a movie or show or something. I don't know. That would be my guess. It would be awesome. Next off, Infinity War, who's going to die? I think, honestly... Okay. This is what I would like. You might not agree, you might not. You might agree, you might not. I would really like for Captain America to die. We all know that Chris Evans doesn't want to continue to play Captain America for much longer. That's totally understandable. So, Captain America dies. Loki dies. Nebula dies. And Okay. Nebula dies. Guardians of the Galaxy gets their sad opinion. Maybe that I can't remember her name right now, but that bug lady that feels feelings. But she's awesome. She's like a comedic goldmine. I don't really want her to die. So Nebula dies from Guardians of the Galaxy. Captain America dies as the heart of the Avengers, and we probably need like one or two other people. So Hawkeye dies. I feel like that's too easy. But I really bold prediction here, guys. I don't want Iron Man. I don't want Robert Downey Jr. to die. I think that's stupid. I know a lot of people would imagine he's so expensive, they're not going to keep him around for long or whatever. I would love for them to just pull like a 180 and be like, Iron Man doesn't die, and here we are with Iron Man 4, like right out of the gates in Phase 4. And this is the way I would love to see them do it, because I know a lot of people are talking about this. I don't know her name right off the top of my head, but I would love for Black Panther's sister, like the technological genius. I don't know. I know this is kind of a detour from the original, from what's going on in the comics right now, because they have like a new Iron Man who's taken over the rings for Tony Stark. But I would love for her to have some kind of a role or some kind of meetup with Tony Stark in this, or at least Spider-Man, and then for her to be the Iron Man technological advanced role for Homecoming 2, taking Iron Man's place. And then at the end credit scene for that movie, Tony Stark's like, hey, you know, like, I've really noticed, like, what you've been doing. You're super smart and everything. And then, like, it's like Iron Man will return. It's like, oh my gosh. So, like, we get Iron Man 4 with Tony Stark mentoring her to be the new Iron Man. That would be cool. I would absolutely love that. I would flip the table, because it would be like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. She was like one of the standouts for Black Panther, and that's why you cannot kill Robert Downey Jr. If you're gonna bring back Iron Man in any way, shape, or form, you need his character still alive to mentor whoever's next, and she is the best person to be mentored for the next one. So that's what I would love. Let's see. I miss Dragon Ball Z, especially Cell Saga. Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2 was the best thing that happened at that time. Yeah. Yeah, it really was. Who is stronger, Hawkeye from One Piece or Hawkeye from Marvel? I have no idea. I don't watch One Piece very much. They should that got a should in Time Stone. Everyone will come back. Also, who else remembers those fake leaks about Goku being eliminated? Tony Stark would be like Logan, except he doesn't die. That was some of the people I was thinking. And yes, Black Panther sisters, the next Iron Man, would be cool to see. Yeah, it would be. MJ is here at the very end, guys. Guys, I am going to call it quits for right now. Vegeta versus Ultra Mastered Instinct. I think. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea of knowing who would do that. So, guys, I'm going to call it quits for now. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this live stream. I've really enjoyed kind of doing this for you guys and taking the time out. Like I said at the very beginning of all of this, I was just here to kind of got home, terrible traffic, and waiting for The Walking Dead. That's going to start in the next hour. So I'm going to go make some dinner, going to go relax a little bit, and going to go take down The Walking Dead. I hope it's a good episode. I heard next week's episode's like 2 hours long, so it's probably like an hour and 15 minutes really, because they have like super terrible amount of commercials. But I hope you guys are having a good day. By the way, I got Fear Sunday or Dead Sunday or whatever they're calling. If you haven't already, check Fathom Events, because they're doing screenings of the season 8 finale and the season 4 premiere of Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead on April 15th, starting at 7:30 at least Central Time, I think, here. So if you guys are excited for that, as I am, go see if there's still tickets, because I got mine and I can't wait to go. Hope everyone is having a fantastic freaking day. It has been super real. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's been real. I already said that.